I am live. Oh my goodness, it's been forever since I've been live. So, hello, everyone. I'm super excited in 2025, right? 2025 to be live once again. If you are popping on now, you're probably like, what is Javier going to be talking about today? Well, I'm going to be talking about consulting. And if you know me in my real life, I'm probably always talking to you about how you should be a consultant. Why? Because you are good at what you do. You have a set of special skills, you have an expertise, you're exceptional. And if you could do all that and be great, then you should be compensated in the process. So, I wanted to share with you all some of the reasons why I think everyone who has a special set of skills, expertise, should consider getting into consulting. So, let me just ask you this. Have you ever been asked by a family friend, a coworker, someone in the community about something that you do? Like, how are you good with time management? How are you able to da da da? Are people often asking you for advice? Are you often being assigned a special project at work? If any of those things relate to you, you're like, yeah, actually, people do ask me about this. Yeah, I've been wondering why they keep asking me for a special project. Then that should be your clue that you have a special set of skills that a lot of people could benefit from. So, on this live, I'm going to be sharing with you some stories, some tips, some ways to think about how to get into the consulting practice. Are you with me? I hope you are. If you're with me, give me a thumbs up or a heart. If you're watching the replay, definitely give me a thumbs up or a heart because I'll come back and kick it with you in the comments. All right, kick it with you. I just gave away my age. Okay, so why does consulting matter? One thing I just want to say, one of the big things I like to highlight: if you have a job and you actually love your job, then being a consultant can provide additional streams of income. And I don't know about you, but the way the eggs be costing these days, I think we all need an extra boost of income, right? So if you have a special set of skills, you have expertise, you're very focused and oriented, then you can benefit from being a consultant. And so one of those big things is additional income to what you currently have, right? Now, what if on the flip side, you actually don't like your job? Now, you don't have to say it out loud if you don't like your job, but you could just nod. Okay. So in the case that you might not like your job, then consulting might be the best way for you to go. So we're going to talk about some of those aspects of what to look for in consulting, what to look out for in consulting, what are some of the most common mistakes that occur in the practice. And if you have any questions, feel free to just drop them in the chat. I will follow up with you if you're watching this on the replay. So let me make sure I look at my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving you all the best information possible. Okay, so just in case you didn't know, consulting is all about solving problems. Okay, so if you are a master problem solver, you're good at, thinking beyond the right now. Or businesses, organizations, and individuals pay for those type of expertise and solutions that they don't have. And when I say they pay, listen. You're able to secure the bag. They pay very well for those who are able to do this flawlessly, quite honest. And guess what? The expertise is probably already in your head. Now, if you know me in real life, and if you haven't, if you heard me speak anywhere, you know that I truly believe that if you've been living, doing, being somewhat successful in your life, then you do indeed have a special set of skills that you could consult with. So why companies hire consultants? Businesses don't just need people who are going to work. People are just going to clock in 9 to 5. They need fresh eyes and expert insight to solve challenges and fix what's not working. I don't know about you, but whenever I work on a white paper, an essay when I was in school, or create a curriculum, after a while, I've been looking at the words, the sentence structures for quite a while, right? I sometimes will ask someone else to look at it so that they can catch any of the things that I might have missed. Well, consulting is just like that. Businesses, organizations, and as well as individuals are always looking for someone who are exceptionally good at what they do to come in and look at the problem they've been looking at day in and day out with a fresh set of eyes to advise them on intervention strategies that could possibly solve this challenge that they're experiencing. So just know that companies are not always looking for a 9 to 5er, someone who wants to collect a 401k. They're looking to hire people with high level expertise that can come in, fresh eyes, and solve problems. They already have teams, right? But sometimes being too close to the problem is a challenge. Again, when you've been looking at it day in and day out, they need new people. And that's quite honestly, that's where you come in at, right? You make sure you come in with your lived experience, your expertise. And I'm using the word expertise, and you're probably like, I don't have an expertise. I don't have an advanced degree. Guess what? You don't need all that. If you're someone who's exceptionally good at time management, very organized, detailed oriented, and there's a company who has not developed their flow, their workflow, or their systems to help manage everything, then you would be the perfect ideal candidate to be a consultant to help them develop and define their systems. So let's talk about that. How to identify your consulting niche, right? I'm just curious. Again, do you already know your consulting niche? Yeah? No? Yeah, to think about it. Here's a series of questions I would have you ask. What do people always ask you for your help with? Hmm. People usually ask me to help them fundraise. So I know my niche is fundraising. What feels easy for you, but maybe hard for others? And I want you to think about it because sometimes we overlook the very thing that is our gift and talent because we do it all the time. So, what is something that is very easy for you that is oftentimes hard for other people? Hmm. Is it problem solving? Is it math? Do you see the strategic connections? Are you very detailed oriented? I'm not. So if you are, hint, hint, I might need you somewhere down the line. And what results have you helped others get? Now, if you're like me, you're a helper, right? You probably helped someone else. When you think back on maybe the special projects you've done at work or the volunteer projects you've done in the community, think about what are some of the results you've gotten from those projects in that effort, right? So instantly it makes me think of, and I keep saying time management because I think of one of my someone I work with now. When I met her 2 years ago, she was exceptionally talented at time management and developing systems. And it was the thing that she loved a great deal, but everyone around her was not like they could not do, they didn't do it. They didn't prefer to for her to do it. And so as she's continued to develop as a professional, she's now looking to get into the consulting arena and doing what? Time management, developing systems, workflows. So I just want you to just think, as you think about what makes you great, what makes you good, what makes you exceptional, there's no skill too small that not cannot be converted into a consulting role that someone would be willing to hire you for. In fact, they might come hunt you down because it's just something that they're not good at. I'll tell you this is not necessarily a consulting role, but I hate doing paperwork. I really do. Like, oh my gosh, it's painful for me. When I say that to people who love paperwork, they're like, oh my gosh, blasphemy, clutch the invisible pearls. They're ready to do some paperwork. So just know that there's no skill that is too small or minute that you think no one would want to hire someone for. So next up, I just want to jump to um, gotta make sure I refer to my notes, right? For those who know me, you're probably like, Tavia uses notes. I know, y'all. This is a new year. I'm trying new things, okay? So the power of consulting as a side or full-time income. One of the best, it is one of the best ways to make money. All right. You don't need to have a huge audience. So if you're thinking of like you need to be some type of social media influencer, you don't, okay? You don't have to create a ton of content. No, nope, nope, nope. And you only need a few clients in order to see major income goals. All right. Real numbers on how consulting can change your financing. In my first year of consulting, I had two contracts, two projects, and those two projects equated to $100,000 in funding. Okay. I know, right? Two projects. And I think between, if I'm being realistic, I think between the two projects, I might have worked an equivalent of, I don't know, 10 hours a month, 10 to 20, right? It kind of depends. There's an ebb and flow when you're doing consulting work. But for sure, two projects, 100K. That was life changing. And so I knew that consulting was definitely a direction I wanted to go in because it could help sustain my family. So if you're someone out there who's like, one, I need extra income because who's going to buy the eggs? Or two, you're like, I don't really quite like my job, but everyone tells me I'm really gifted at this, then you might want to consider consulting. Um, some of the contracts I want to just, share to give you a full spectrum. You could make 25K per 6 month period. That's like 10 to 15 hours per month. And 25K is really part time work. So if you're interested, if you like money, need money to buy the eggs, definitely throw an emoji, a thumbs up, or a heart, or put in the comments. So I just also wanted just to give you a heads up because in my real life of doing all the things, if you know, for those who have followed me any length of time, I definitely was the person who was on social media, like doing lives weekly. And then you haven't seen me, right? Well, a great deal of my work is in the real world. So I just want to share that to encourage folks that if you think the only way you can jump into the consulting field is by always being online, by having these large social media followers and accounts, that is not the case. In fact, one of the greatest skills that if you're someone who likes to be friendly, likes to engage people, and likes to share your thoughts and insights, then consulting can also be helpful, especially in the real world as you're networking and connecting with people. And so, one of the things I just want to add in this section before I go on to the next one is that I will be hosting a consulting workshop on how to get started. So, just know there'll be more to come about how to get in the consulting realm because I truly believe that it's a viable stream of income that can be a game changer for you and your family, or if you're a solo individual, or if you're like myself and you don't really like working for folks, don't tell people I said that. But if you don't, then consulting could be a thing for you. So let's jump into avoiding some of the biggest consulting mistakes. All right. Um, Thinking you have to do everything. And I'll be honest, in my first year, I thought I literally had to do everything. I had to create the document, write the slide deck, do the presentation, and be in all the meetings. And that is just not the case. So you do not have to do everything. You are not signing on to be a full time employee. They already have those, right? You are the strategist, the advisor, and the problem solver. You bring the framework, they do the work. So repeat it with me. You bring the framework and they do the work. That sounds like a whole song, right? You bring the framework and they do the work. Okay, y'all. And then so I just want to acknowledge that please do not think consulting is you doing the work. That's really the employee. That's a there's other titles for that, but as a consultant, you're the strategist and advisor. So you are there to think about the bigger problem and to identify maybe some of the challenges that they're experiencing and not able to solve the problem. So drop a comment. Have you ever helped someone but end up doing all the work? Comment me if that was you. Have you ever helped someone but ended up doing all the work? Y'all, that's why I hate group assignments because I ended up doing all the work. So let me know if I'm not the only one who has experienced being the one who's done all the work. But please don't do that. We ain't gonna do that because nobody has time like that in 2025. Yes. All right. So as I wrap this up, here's a few things I want you all to remember. Those who are live or those who are watching the replay. If people already come to you for advice and you are sitting on consulting gold. If people already come to you for your advice, your support as a sounding board, then you are sitting on consulting gold. You don't have to be famous, right? You don't have to be Kendrick Lamar after the Super Bowl performance, okay? You just need to be the right person with the right framework for their specific needs. Don't forget, I will have a workshop real soon, and I hope you will consider joining because I'm going to get into the nitty gritty. I'm going to talk a whole lot more and tell some of my corny jokes, AKA the mom version of the dad joke. And I think you'll have a good time. And so I have an intro to consulting workshop. It's how to position yourself as a consultant, the exact steps to create your first offer, how to price yourself without undercharging yourself. Because that's another challenge. You don't want to underprice yourself because then you won't feel valued. And we don't do that in 2025, right? We are our best selves in 2025. We value ourselves as people, our expertise, and we know our worth. So in closing, da, 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 please drop me an emoji if you had an aha moment or you just like seeing me because you haven't seen me in a while. I would appreciate that one. And if you want to go deeper, drop info into the chat and I'll send you the details on the workshop when it's ready. Y'all, I think this is my first live since 2023, maybe even 2022. I am rusty, but I feel invigorated. So thank you for being here watching me while live, or if you're watching a replay, I equally value you. Make sure if you're interested in a workshop, you drop info in the chat, and I will be back next week. So if you're looking for more from me, get excited. I'll be back. See y'all next week.